In a state named Ascona, there lived a girl named Susie. She had a brother whose name was Stefan. They were very affectionate about each other. They used to live with their stepmom Shelley and her daughter Stella. The stepmother and sister, they used to trouble Susie in every possible way. Since Stella was not that good looking, Shelley used to treat Susie very badly. One day Shelley said to Susie, "Hey Susie, bring me some milk." "Okay mom, bringing in a while." Saying this, Susie brings milk for Shelley. Shelley was practicing some kind of magic when suddenly Susie calls her, "Mom, I've brought milk for you." "Put it there and get lost from here." "Okay." Saying this, Susie leaves and sits outside in the courtyard with an upset face. When suddenly her brother Stefan comes and asks Susie,
What happened, Susie? Why are you upset?
"Nothing, brother. Nothing happened."
Don't hide from me. I know everything.
"Brother, why mom behaves like this? Like we are no one to her?"
Don't take her words to heart. I am here for you. Don't worry.
"I know you will be always there for me. That's why I'm not worried." Saying this, Susie gets back to her work. Days passed by like this, and their stepmom kept troubling them like that. She used to make Susie do all the household chores while she and her daughter Stella used to relax all day long. Stefan was also bored working all day long. One day, Susie and Stefan planned to escape from there. At that very night, they ran away in the forest. After getting tired, they sleep under a tree. The next day at their home, "Susie, quickly bring me a cup of tea." After not getting any response, she calls out Susie once again, "Susie!" That's when she realizes there's no one in the house. So she goes to her room and with the help of a magical crystal ball, she tries to find out where Susie is. And she gets to know Susie and Stefan both are resting in the forest. Then she says, "Thank God they escaped and ran away in the forest. And I didn't have to kick them out. Now they will see how much fun it is." After saying this, Shelley applies her magic on the pond of that forest. If they drink this water, they will become animals. On the other side, when Susie and Stefan woke up, they saw they had reached enough far away in the forest and now no one can find them. After walking for a while, Stefan felt thirsty, so he goes near a pond to drink water. When he tries to fetch the water with his hand, he hears a voice from the pond.
"Hey kid, if you drink the water from this pond, you will become animal."
"Brother, you won't drink water from this pond. I'm really scared." Listening to Susie's concern, Stefan says nothing and starts walking without drinking water. After walking for a while, Stefan says to Susie,
If we get another pond on our way, I am going to drink water from that. I am really feeling thirsty.
"Okay, brother, no problem." Now, Stefan and Susie kept walking, but they couldn't find any pond near them. But then suddenly, Stefan hears a sound of water.
I heard a sound of water. Let's go there and see.
"Yes, brother, let's go." Hearing the sound of water, both of them go near the river. Seeing the water, Stefan tries to fetch it with his hands so that he can drink it. That's when a voice comes from the river. "Wait, son. If you will drink water from this pond, you will turn into a wild animal." After hearing all this, Susie stops Stefan from drinking water from the river. But this time, Stefan doesn't listen to Susie and drinks water from that river. Stefan turns into a deer. He gets upset after seeing himself turn into a deer. Then Susie says, "Brother, I had told you not to drink water from this pond, but you didn't listen to me. Now don't go anywhere leaving me behind. There will be many scary animals in this forest. Don't put your life into danger." Hearing all this, the deer starts crying and hugs Susie. After walking for a while, Susie finds an old hut which had some regular livelihood necessities, but no one used to live there. Seeing this, Susie says to Stefan, "Brother, from now on we will stay here. There will be no better place for us to stay." Hearing this, the deer nods his head and tries to speak. That's when words come out from his mouth.
Okay, sister.
Seeing the deer speak, Susie becomes very happy and she hugs him. After that, She cleans a blanket they found in there and they sleep on it. The next day, Susie and Stephen roam in the forest and bring some food to eat. Days passed by like this, and now Susie didn't use to take Stephen with her in the forest as it was risky for him, so she used to bring fresh grass for him in the house. One day, Stephen said to Susie,
Susie, since so many days I am in the house, I want to roam outside. Let me go.
Okay, brother, you can go. But try to come back soon.
Okay, Susie, but don't open the door till I come back. I will call out for your name thrice, then only open the door.
Okay, brother, I will open the door only when you will call out my name. But come soon, brother.
Okay, sister.
Saying this, Stephen starts running and goes into the forest. He was feeling refreshed going out after so many days. He was feeling great and his body was shining. Stephen was roaming here and there in the forest. And that very moment, the reigning prince, Prince Richard, was passing by the forest. He came there for hunting, but he couldn't find anything to hunt. After some time, he finds a deer. Seeing that deer, the prince followed it. But that's when the deer was returning back home. The prince sees the deer speaking something outside a hut.
Dear sister, open the door. Dear sister, open the door. Dear sister, open the door.
After saying like this thrice, Susie opens the door. That's when the prince notices a beautiful girl opening the door and goes inside along with the deer. He noticed everything hiding behind the tree and thinks in his mind,
The girl is so beautiful and amazing. I couldn't stop looking at her. But what is she doing with the deer?
After that, the prince leaves. And the next day he comes back and knocks on the door and talks like Stephen, just like he saw him doing. That's when Susie opens the door and notices a handsome prince standing right in front of her eyes. She couldn't stop looking at him. That's when the prince asks Susie,
Forgive me. Yesterday I saw you and that's why I want to talk to you. I am Prince Richard, the prince of this reign. I like you a lot.
What are you trying to say? I'm not getting anything, prince.
I want to marry you. Will you marry me?
Susie kept staring at the prince and shared her and Stephen's story with him. After listening to everything, the prince said,
That does not matter. Just tell me if you want to marry me or not.
Yes, Prince Richard, I'm ready to marry you. But I have to tell this to my brother.
Tell him, I have to go now. Come tomorrow as a royal guest in our reign. I will be waiting for you.
Saying this, the prince leaves. And Susie felt it all like a dream. When suddenly Stephen comes there and Susie tells him everything what happened. Brother, the prince of this reign came here today. He put forth a marriage proposal to me.
Really, Susie?
Yes, brother, and also he has invited us tomorrow.
Then tomorrow we will definitely go to his palace.
Saying this, the next day, Susie and Stephen go to the prince's kingdom. Seeing them, the prince welcomes and takes them to the palace. The next day, the prince gets married to Susie. Now, they started living very happy together in the palace. They were very happy with each other. One day, the stepmother Shelley tries to see where Susie and Stephen are through her magical crystal ball. That's when, in her crystal ball, she notices Susie is dressed like a princess and she's with a prince. And Stephen is grazing in the garden. Seeing all this, Shelley gets angry and breaks her crystal ball and leaves for the palace along with her daughter. When they reach into the palace, Shelley noticed that Princess Susie was resting in her suit. Then Shelley turns her daughter into Susie and makes Princess Susie unconscious with her magic. That's when her daughter Stella says, Mom, we won't get caught, right? No, my child. Now you will rule over this reign, understood? Okay, Mom. I will follow you. I will do as you say. Okay. I will leave this Susie into a dense forest. Till then, you wait here, okay? Okay, Mom. Saying this, Shelley takes Susie into dense forest. After leaving her in the dense forest, she comes back to the palace. On the other hand, when Stephen comes to his sister, Stella shouts at him.
Hey, what is this deer doing in my room? You get lost!
Saying this, she shoos the deer away from her room. Due to this, Stephen was confused why Susie is behaving like that to him.
Suddenly, what happened to Susie? Why did she deny to recognize me?
Thinking about all that, he comes to the garden. But he wasn't feeling right. So he goes back to meet his sister again. When he noticed that his stepmom was in the room, Stephen tries to hear their conversation from outside the room. Stella, I have left Susie in a dense forest. Now she will never come back and you will rule over this rain forever.
Yes, Mom, you're right. I feel great ever since we have arrived here.
Come on, now you have to get ready to talk to the prince.
Okay, Mom.
Stephen was listening to all this from outside the room. Hearing all that, tears come into his eyes and he starts walking towards the forest. He tries to find Susie in the forest but couldn't find her. Instead, he met a saint in the forest. He was meditating under a tree. Stephen says,
Please help me. I need your help.
How can I help you? What kind of help do you need from me?
My sister is lost in this forest. I want to meet her. Will you help me in finding her?
The saint closes his eyes and meditates. He says in a while,
You will find your sister in this direction. You will meet her soon. And your stepmother is the one who turned you into a deer.
Hearing that, Stephen goes silent. He says to Saint,
How can we escape from this trouble?
Take this miraculous water. Whenever you splash this on your stepmother, all her magical powers will go away. Now go in this direction and take the princess back.
Saying that, the saint ties the bottle of water around his neck.
Okay, thank you so much.
After saying so, Stephen goes into the direction that the saint had told him. And after walking for a while, he notices Susie sitting under a tree. That's when Stephen to Susie,
Are you okay, my sister?
Yes, brother. How did you come here finding me? Our stepmother and Stella had come to the palace and they left me here in the effect of magic tricks on me.
I know everything. Susie, let's go back to palace.
Okay, let's go, brother. But what's that on your neck?
A saint has given this to me. With this, we can destroy all the magical powers of our stepmother. And once again, I can become a human being. You keep this with you. We will use this when the right time comes.
On the other side, the prince goes into the princess's room and notices that the princess is sleeping. That's when the prince inquires to the princess's maid,
What happened to the princess? Why is she sleeping?
She was not feeling well, that's why she is resting. Whenever she wakes up, I will let you know.
Let her rest.
Saying that, the prince leaves the room. On the other hand, Shelley, who took the form of maid, comes back to her own self. I had told you, these people are very clever. Now we have to be precautious and our drama won't last for long. I have to find another way.
Yes, Mom, you are right. I was also thinking about the same thing.
I think I have to find some solution to this problem very soon. After saying this, Shelley leaves. And on the other side, Stephen and Susie come to the palace. Princess Susie dressed like her maid so that no one could recognize her. After some time, Stephen and Susie go to the prince's room, hiding from everyone. The prince was looking out from his window. That's when Susie calls out the prince. Your Highness, I'm back. Hearing her voice, the prince looks at her, but he couldn't believe what he was seeing. He sees the princess dressed like a normal maid. He asks,
What are you doing in these clothes?
Your Highness, you did recognize me. My stepmother came to this palace and after doing some magic tricks on me, she sent me into the forest and they are living here. Hearing all this, the prince gets very angry and calls his royal guards.
Call all the royal guards right now.
After getting the prince's order, all the royal guards gather in the court. That's when the prince, along with princess, comes to the palace. Reaching into the palace, he orders the royal guards to call the fake princess and her maid. After some time, the fake princess and her mother comes to the court and notices Princess Susie standing beside the prince. They become furious and they turn into their real self.
Put them into the dungeon right now. They tried to kill the princess.
You think you can put me in dungeon? No one can ever catch me, and I will take revenge from this princess. Saying this, Shelley tries her spells of magic tricks on Princess Susie. That's when Susie splashes the miraculous water given by the saint on Shelley. And with the help of the miraculous water, Shelley's magic trick stops working. Seeing all this, Shelley becomes very furious and couldn't control herself. She was not understanding what to do now. That's when the royal guards put Shelley and Stella into the dungeon. Seeing this, the prince and the princess become very happy. And with the help of the miraculous water, Shelley's magical powers get destroyed. And along with that, Stephen also becomes human once again. After all this happened, everybody becomes very happy. And they all live very happily. So, this story teaches us that we should always do good deeds in our life. And we should not do anything wrong to anyone. Bad deeds bring bad to you. As it is said, as you will sow, so shall you reap.
There used to be a man named John in a village named Sitara. He was a very smart man. John had his own laundry shop. He used to wash and iron clothes for people in it. And that's why John became very famous. He used to get clothes from all the big houses of the village. John was assisted by his wife Rosa. They had a daughter. Her name was Sarah. Sarah was a very good-hearted girl. She always helped the one in need. She never said no to anyone for help. Her kindness was known in the village. A lot of people used to get their work done by showing her their helplessness. Now, one day John says to his daughter,
"Daughter, this good-natured behavior can be deadly sometimes."
"Father, if I help someone, then the reward will be for me only, right? That is why I always do good deeds."
"It is beyond my capacity to explain you."
"Yes, let's go and eat food, Father."
"Yes, let's go."
Now, all three of them eat the food. They go to sleep after the meal. The next day, Rosa and Sarah wake up early and finish all the chores around the house. But John does not wake up early today. Sarah goes to her father to wake him up. "Father, wake up now. Your body is burning with fever. Mom, come here fast." "What happened? He did not wake up yet?" "Mom, father has a high fever. See, he is not waking up." "Oh yes, we have to take him to the hospital. Hurry up." "Yes, Mom, let's go." Now Sarah and Rosa takes John to the hospital. After reaching hospital, the doctor checks him and says to Sarah,
"He's got typhoid because of high fever. We have to keep him under observation now."
"Doctor, is there anything to worry about?"
"No, it will take time to get well."
"Okay, doctor. You look after him and give him a proper treatment. I'll arrange for the money."
"Okay, you may go now."
Sarah gets her father admitted to the hospital and asks her mother to stay in the hospital to look after him. "Mom, you stay here with father. I will go home and arrange for some money. Don't worry." "Carefully, daughter, and look after yourself." "Yes, Mom, I'll go now." Now Sarah leaves from there and comes home thinking that, what should I do to get some money? Suddenly, her father's iron catches her attention. She thinks that she will do this work from now because she needed money. She starts ironing the clothes and irons all the clothes in one night and goes to sleep. The next day, Sarah wakes up early and finishes all the chores and brings clothes that her father brought for ironing back to the people. Now, everyone is looking at her with surprise, and one man said,
"Daughter, why did you bring the clothes today?"
"Uncle, I will do this work from now on because my father is not well and I need the money. That's why I will do my father's work. Do you have any objections?"
No, daughter. Why would I have any objection? It's good for all.
Be a bit careful with these people. These people mishmash with calculations.
I will be cautious. I'll leave now. Sarah leaves after taking the money from the man. And after returning all the ironed clothes back, she brings home clothes to wash. She washes the clothes and hangs them to dry, then irons them at night. Many days passed like this. Sarah does her work very faithfully. She keeps the track of all the clothes she gets from people and that she returned. That's why she faced no problems with the calculations. One day, Joshua says to her,
I owe you 100 rupees for my clothes and you are saying 150. It's too much.
You owe me 150 rupees for the clothes you have given to me. You can see the calculations. I can show you the count for everyday clothes too. Joshua gets to know that Sarah is telling him the calculations after noting it down. Seeing this, he says,
Oh daughter, I thought it was 100 rupees. Here you're 150 rupees and today's clothes.
Sarah counts the clothes and takes them home. And at the end of the month, she collects the money from people. After taking the money, she goes home and counts. Sarah has collected 10,000 rupees. Sarah takes the money and goes to the hospital. After admitting in hospital, her father is getting much better now. Seeing this, Sarah was very happy, but nurse stops Sarah outside and calls her. Madam, your bill is ready. Should I give it to you? Madam, how much is the bill? Please tell me. Madam, 24,000. You have to pay it till tomorrow because your father will be discharged tomorrow. Okay, madam, let me see. After saying this, Sarah meets her parents and leaves for home. She reaches home and thinks, how would I arrange this much money? What should I do? I can't think of anything. Sarah was thinking about all this and then suddenly her iron started rushing gold. Sarah saw this and she got scared. She said, This is magic. Who did this?
I am your iron.
You can speak?
Yes, Sarah. I am happy with your hard work. That's why I am giving this gold. Take this and pay the hospital bills for your father. Take this gold and sell it to buy medicine. If you need more, just ask for it. You will never fall short of money.
Iron gives gold and stops talking. The voice stops. Sarah could not believe her eyes. She picks up the gold in her hand and saw that the gold is real. She gets very happy. Sarah goes and sells the gold to the goldsmith and pays the hospital bill using that money and gets some medicines as well. Sarah's parents thank God after listening to all this. They bless their daughter and John says,
I'm very lucky to have a daughter like you and I thank God for all this.
The entire family lives happily together and they never fall short of money. They live life easily. All this happened because of the gold rushing iron.